Hello, welcome back to episode 22 with your host, Brantt Myhres, and the Sober Recovery podcast called UnHammered. Hashtag UnHammered. It's sort of catching on, which is sort of cool when you get people saying, hey, Brantt, I've been unhammered for a week or a day. It's awesome, man. But anyways, everyone, boys and girls, wherever you are, if you've made it 24 hours, if you've made it an hour, a week and a month, a year from a drug and a drink, congratulations to you all, and cheers. Let's all take a sip to that. Because as we all know, that's not an easy feat, right? It's not. I had a gentleman, so speaking of that, I had a gentleman named Shannon. Shannon reached out to me. Would have been, how many days ago? I think it would have been 4 or 5 days ago. And I called him. And we chatted on the phone. And he's a good man. And long story short, I said, hey, man. I said, if you're serious about this thing, I said, why don't you reach out to me every morning? Reach out to me and just send me a text message and let me know how you're doing, Shannon. You know, and I don't keep any expectations. But anyways, so guys, he sent me a message every morning, and he is on day 9. So congratulations, Shannon. Boom. Way to go, man. All right, you guys. Why don't we start with a prayer? Because we all need, well, we don't all need, I need prayer in my life. I need prayer, and I need guidance from something. And I'm going to put these back on. And here we go. So, you know what? Why don't we really mix things up today? You guys want to add in a meditation for the day? Any of you guys meditate? I don't think, but maybe I will today. Meditation for the day. The grace of God is an assurance against evil. It holds out security to the believing soul. The grace of God means safety in the midst of evil. You can be kept unspotted by the world through the power of His grace. You can have a new life of power, but only in close contact with the grace of God is its power realized. Okay? And I agree with all of it so far. Sort of like meditating. In order to realize it and benefit from it, you must have daily quiet communion with God so that the power of His grace will come unhindered into your soul. That's meditation for the day. We're going to do a prayer for the day. I pray that I may be kept from evil by the grace of God. I pray that henceforth I will try to keep myself more unspotted by the world. That's sort of cool, hey? They talk about evil in there. Yeah, good and bad, evil, angels, all that stuff. You know, I got to tell you, I really sort of feel this prayer. I feel the meditation. And I'll tell you why. This morning I was sort of running around and long story short, I don't know, I think because my head is going places with a certain business or project, and then the tooth, right? And I showed up on, what day is it? Thursday? I showed up yesterday. I showed up at 12 noon on Wednesday to get a root canal. And they go, Brantt, your appointment's not until Monday, the 28th. What? I've been fired up, ready to rock. So I don't know how I got that. But anyways, my point is, so I think my head's been going, and I'm running around this morning with my little man Buds, and getting him ready and doing his hair and brushing his teeth and taking his diaper off that he pissed in last night and all that good stuff, right? When you love somebody. And as I'm walking out of my room, my head goes, Brantt, you know what? Fuck the prayer today. I'm sort of listening to the voice. I'm going, whoa. Now you're too busy, man. Keep going. You gotta, you're late. And I just sort of had to catch myself. I said, get on your fucking knees. Dude, get on your knees right now. Because I understand what that voice is. And maybe it's because sometimes I'm not doing well, and that voice can get loud when you're an addict. So anyways, I got on my knees and I said my prayer like I always do in the morning. And when they talk about good and evil, I believe in good and evil. And this morning I had a little bit of evil going on upstairs. And I don't like that. But that's just part of my disease. I can't think that every day is going to be fucking roses with this thing. I understand that people don't make it. People die. And yeah. So anyways, let's read some good stuff, shall we? From a gentleman named Nick D. Hi, Mr. Myhres. I just wanted to share you a quick thanks for sharing your story. I struggled with alcohol abuse for the better part of 20 years and have finally found my way through to the other side. Loving life as a sober man. I listened to your audiobook, Painkiller, and it was truly inspiring. I feel it has really helped me strengthen my own sobriety. Thank you again. I hope for nothing but the best for you and your family. I hope nothing but the best for you, Nick. And I'm glad you enjoyed the audiobook, man. That was a hard thing to I guess I didn't write it, did I? I did. Whatever. Okay, what's the next one here? This guy's name's Todd. I have a question for you, Brantt. Although blah blah blah, submitted considering one of talking about on your podcast. Anyways, where do you think marijuana lies? Because I'll be honest, I like to smoke, but I'd like you to talk about it. Again, this is just me. Maybe for the grace of God, I never enjoyed marijuana. I didn't enjoy being out of it. I know that it's legalized and you can buy it and you can smoke it, and I have friends that smoke pot all day long and they're fucking good people. They're awesome people. But when it comes for Brantt Myhres, if I was to go and say, hey man, that joint you're smoking, why don't I take a pull off that thing? My sobriety's fucking starting over. Boom, done. I hit a joint and she's step one again. I admitted I was powerless over drugs. And I'm right back here going, hey guys, I got one day. So I don't go near it. My brain and the way that I roll is I have to try and substitute again, as I just mentioned, those evil thoughts, right? Those evil thoughts that came about me this morning. And it says, it tells you a lot of things. Your addiction will lie to you. It's a fucking good liar. It'll lie to you. And it'll tell you that you're not good enough, that your podcast sucks. You're getting too old. You can be a better dad. You suck as a dad. It's wild, man. And I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that, to the negativity that addiction can put in your brain, but it does it to me, not a ton, but it does it once in a while, and it's sort of scary. And that's why we have this podcast, to talk about it. And I don't give a fuck about my ego. I don't care how I look. I don't care if I cry. Who cares? All right, let's rock and roll to the next one. No, I'm not going to name her name. Came upon you online. It hit me hard when you talked about the Wayne Gretzky stick. I lost my son. Cocaine was the death of the autopsy. I'm devastated. I'm hurt. I'm confused. I'm his mom. I'm not sure what happened. He had been doing so well. He broke up with his girlfriend, it seemed. Jesus. It seemed to be No, it seemed to be the end will never be the same. Yes. My life will never be the same. I miss him every single day. The fact that you got Wayne Gretzky's stick back packed my heart. As my son Ryan was a big hockey fan, loved Wayne Gretzky when he was little. Thank you, Brantt. No, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that story. That's I was close. I OD'd a couple times there with the coke and rushed to the hospital. Yeah, and it's just it's insane that we have no control over other people in our lives, do we? We have no control over other people in our lives. We think we'd like to. I think I'd like to have control over Peanut and Kaner, but I don't. The only thing that I have is I have prayer for them, and I have to lead by example, and they're going to make their own decisions in life. And with your boy overdosing on cocaine, that had nothing to do with you, sweetheart. Again, it was a disease that took him down hard. And your boy was obviously I think you'd like to remember your son as when he was a little guy. But man, those stories crack me up emotionally because I've been there and I've almost died. So yeah, it really hits home. Okay, this guy's name is Thunder and Lightning. All right, I read your book. I hated you for so many chapters, but loved you in the end. Well, thanks, Thunder. That's nice, yeah. I guess, yeah, I don't blame you. I didn't really like me either, man. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't hate Brantt Myhres. I'm not a fucking rapist. I don't go rob banks with fucking guns. I was doing drugs, partying, and having sex with women. I don't know. Whatever. So anyways, I'm not a bad guy, but yeah, the shit that I was doing, I don't blame you. You know, I get that a lot from people. Man, oh man, I just wanted to punch you in the face in the first half of the book. And then the last half of the book, I wanted to give you a big hug. Yeah, I know. Me too. So that was interesting. All right, what else? Any of you guys been to treatment? I have somebody that I know right now in the family that's in treatment and trying to get better. And I'm just wondering what your experiences have been with rehab and treatment centers. I always feel that, like, you know, some people have an opinion, right? They have an opinion, like, you know, as far as treatment goes, you know, save the 20 grand and go buy a big book, right? And get a sponsor and go to meetings and all that. And there may be a little truth to that. You know what I needed? I needed support. I needed friends. I needed love from sober people. And that's what treatment provided me. It provided me that. Gave me the love that I felt that I was missing. And I didn't have a lot of you know, good friends in my life, actually, that were sober at the time. None. So you need that. You need that community of friends and that kind of stuff. So anyways, what was your experience like? Mine was, the first four, like, I guess I was just trying to maybe keep a job, right? Still playing the NHL and get a paycheck. The fifth one, my experience at Astoria Point, where they filmed the Goonies. And by the way, I get to watch the Goonies like once every second day now. Kaner loves the Goonies. But anyways, that's where I went to treatment. And that one was, man, I just remember walking in. I had my hockey bag. I've got this Flames hockey bag, and that's really the only hockey bag I have left out of the 7 teams that I played on. And I had my Flames hockey bag, and I had it packed. I had it packed with my clothes, my belongings in there. And I still remember walking in there, and I just know that I was ready. That I was ready. I didn't want to waste anybody's more time and money and effort and all that. And when I was in there, I opened up a computer and I wrote out a program for the National Hockey League if I could stay sober. And one day at a time, right? And so I write, and the next thing you know, at 6:30 in the morning, you get a knock on the door, and you got to get up, and you got to make your bed. Then you go down and you do meditation. You do meditation in the morning. And there's probably, how many people were there when I was there? 40. And I just remember like sitting in meditation in the morning, and there was just no chaos. And it was like looking outside, and it was beautiful outside, and the leaves and all this stuff. And anyways, just stuff that I didn't look at when I was loaded. And, and then you go to group, and you got a therapist, right? And I had a lady named Shelley, and she didn't condone my fucking bullshit. She didn't condone my bullshit. And I found that out in the first day or two. So I had to be honest with her. So then you could do that, right? And then you break, because that was like 2 hours. And then you break and you go for lunch. And you have your lunch, and then you come back at 1, and you got group again. Right? And then after group, you get maybe an hour or whatever to hang out, and then you got dinner, and you got dinners at like 5:00. And then after 5:00, you jump in a van and you go to an AA meeting. And I went to the AA meeting with everybody in the vans or whatever. And then you come back, and then you have like a sort of like a nightly practice of checking in to see how your day went. And then you go to bed, and lights out, I think was 10:00. But, you end up like just changing so many things in your life, like I was losing weight because I was training, but I wasn't eating after 6:00. Before I was just like a fat piggy, just sitting and eating all the time, and just out of fucking boredom and depression, just eat, eat until, you're sick almost sometimes. When I was going on my Coke benders, I'd go to fucking Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then I'd head over to 7-Eleven and grab a big Coke Slurpee, and by the, you start eating that shit, and you just go into a blackout, and the next thing you know, and in a month you put on 50 fucking pounds. So yeah, in rehab, you don't eat after 6:00. So you don't really, you change everything, you start losing weight, they got a banana for you. They might have an apple, but, and then I did that every day. I did it every day for 7-8 months. I did that. Thank God. And thank you to the National Hockey League for that. So that's my rehab experience when I really wanted it. Here's one. Hey, Brantt. How did you handle your relapse without shame? How did I handle my relapse without shame? I didn't. It was fucking shameful. It was shameful. It was hard. It was tough. I was demoralized. I had 14 years, everyone, and I kept those coins, and I worked hard to get those 14 years. And, shit happened. Shit happened in the world in 2021 that nobody could foresee. And, it got a hold of me mentally. With COVID and the vaccine and all that stuff. And I just wasn't doing well, and the meeting shut down, and you couldn't go anywhere, and you thought you were going to die. It was just a weird time. So when I relapsed, I was hurt, man. The first thing I did that night is I went and grabbed my book, and I hid my book. I hid it. I didn't want to look at Painkiller because I was ashamed. I was ashamed of what happened. But you know what? God has a funny way of giving you messages, and I obviously needed a little message that day, and the message is that you're gonna hit a bit of a hurricane today, Brantt, and or tonight, and you're gonna ride it through again, and you're gonna learn some lessons from this hurricane. It's probably going to be a category 5, and it's going to get real nasty out there. But you're going to learn some lessons from it. And you keep praying, you keep getting on your knees, you keep praying, Brantt, and I'll get you through it again. I'll get you through it. And I did. And I got sober. I didn't go very long. Again, 16 and a half years from drugs. I haven't done any drugs, but 2.5 years of booze. And I had a lot of shame. But I don't today. And how I handled it was just I kept not caring what that mind was saying, that evil mind was saying, and I just kept getting on my knees and praying for strength. Help me through this, man. And it worked so far. Okay, remember we were talking about we agnostics? Bang, the big book of AA and NA. Okay, page 46, everyone. Much to our relief, we discovered we did not need to consider another conception of God. Our own conception, however inadequate, was sufficient to make the approach and to effect a contact with Him. As soon as we admitted the possible existence of a creative intelligence, a spirit of the universe underlying the totality of things, we began to be possessed of a new sense of power and direction, provided we took other simple steps. We found that God does not make too hard terms with those who seek Him. To us, the realm of the spirit is broad, roomy, all-inclusive, never exclusive or forbidding to those who earnestly seek. It is opened, we believe, to all men and women. Okay? When, therefore, we speak to you of God, we mean your own conception of God. This applies too to other spiritual expressions you will find in this book. Do not let any prejudice you have against spiritual terms deter you from honestly asking yourself what they mean to you. At the start, this was all we needed to commence spiritual growth, to effect our first conscious relation with God as we understood Him. Afterward, we found ourselves accepting many things which then seemed entirely out of reach. That was growth, but if we wished to grow, we had to begin somewhere. So we used our own conception, however limited that was. We needed to ask ourselves but one short question. What's the short question? Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe that there is a power greater than myself? ? Yeah, are you even willing to believe? Folks, you got to be willing. As soon as a man or woman can say that he does believe or is willing to believe, we empathetically assure him that he is on his way. It has been repeatedly proven amongst us that upon this simple cornerstone, a wonderfully effective spiritual structure can be built. That's sort of cool. That was great news to us, for we had assumed we could not make use of spiritual principles unless we accepted many things on faith which seemed difficult to believe. When people presented us with spiritual approaches, how frequently did we all say, I wish I had that. I wish I had what that man has. I'm sure it would work if I could only believe as he or she believes, but I cannot accept as surely true the many articles of faith which are so plain to him or her. So it was comforting to learn that we could commence at a simpler level. That's sort of cool. Okay, we'll maybe read some more next week. Okay. What did I want to chat about here at the end? I think I wanted to chat about fathers, dads. Been missing mine lately. Been missing my dad, Bob. And it's crazy, man, when you can't speak to your parents anymore. And my mom passed, and my dad died. And, it's, I think I see Cain in my father. I think that's my dad upstairs, going, son, it's going to be okay. But I miss being able to pick up the phone. And when I'm feeling the way that I am sometimes, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'd call my dad, and my dad was amazing. My dad, kind of man my dad was he'd sacrifice everything for me and my sister share. He'd put in $2 worth of gas just to get me to practice so I could skate. And then after that, if he had any money left over, he'd buy me a Slurpee at the Husky store. And he'd borrow money from friends to take me to hockey tournaments that he couldn't afford. He'd basically, anything that I asked my father, he'd do. What he had, my dad didn't have a lot material-wise, but whatever my father had, it was crazy. He was willing to hand it over. And that's a good lesson for me with my son and my daughter, that, no matter what, right? You only got so many of them in the world. And I know that he treated my sister Cher, like my sister Cher took his death real hard. And I was trying to process it in a different way. My sister cried every day. And I hope my daughter feels that way about me, and one day. But anyways, my dad, I miss my dad. And I think I just miss him. And maybe I wish I could say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting you down too, Dad. But I hope that you understand that we're all human, and as we get older, we try and change our ways and look back on things. And but man, talk about the stuff we'd be able to talk about now, And anyways, I don't know. I just miss you, Pops, and thanks for thanks for being the dad that you were. So anyways, this emotional bear's done. I don't know. We're going to end it with the promises. Okay? All right, let's do it. Okay. Page 83 of the big book. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will realize suddenly that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Period. Are these extravagant promises? ? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. Amen to that. There's the promises, folks. You want them? Go get them. Go get them. Go get them. Do what Shannon's doing. One day at a time, right? Do what he's doing. Okay. You guys have an awesome week. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a downer of an episode, but I was just emotional today. And it's all good. But you guys have a great week. And hopefully you guys all stay UnHammered, right? Hashtag UnHammered. And we'll see you in 7 days. All right. Thanks. Take care.